Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Simone, and I'm an English teacher. So today we're talking based on the title that we are talking about how to move from intermediate English to advanced English in the time frame of about 6 weeks. So we're going to do a quick little lesson today. But what I would really love from you guys is to type in the chat and tell me your names and where you're from. So for example, I'll put in an example. I am Simone. I'm from the US. And then the last thing that I want you guys to put is like your English level. So for me, obviously, I'm a native speaker. And then I want you guys to put like why do you want to learn English? So for example, I'd like to travel for using English. Rodrigo from Spain. Hi, Rodrigo. So go ahead and put that in the chat and let me know, your name, where you're from, what level you're at. So if you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, and why you want to learn English. So, yay, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I will be here every day. So I will be here from Monday to Friday at this time every day. So you guys can find me here at any time. And today we're going to talk about what it takes. I've got my handy dandy little board here. Today I've got what it takes. Rodrigo says he's a beginner. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're going to be working mostly with intermediate, but intermediate is relative. So if you find you can't understand me, then don't worry. We'll figure out a way. Okay, so our goals. Today we're going to talk about, well, let me restart. I'm a different kind of teacher, right? Is this backwards? Can someone tell me if this is backwards? It looks backwards to me, but it might be. Can you read that? I'm a different type of English teacher. So yes, I teach you English. And yes, I teach you vocabulary. And yes, I teach you grammar and all that stuff. But what I'm really, really interested in is your development. So the word development, I'm going to pop that into the chat. Development. So what I mean by that is I want you to grow. I want you to have a goal, and I want you to get that goal, right? So the very, very first thing I do with all of my students is I set a goal with them. Goal. Very good. And what is a goal for English? Well, you could say something like, I want to speak fluently. Okay, I want to speak fluently. But there's a couple of problems. I mean, that's a good goal, but there's a couple of problems with this goal. The first being, it's very vague, right? I want to be fluent. Well, how will you know that you're fluent? Will you get, like, what will happen? Will you suddenly wake up and you're fluent? And the answer is, how do you know that you're fluent? Okay, Edson says, my name is Edson Bundala from Tanzania. My English level is intermediate. I'm a water engineer. I plan to study postgraduate in English-speaking countries. I also plan to take the IELTS exam and aiming band 7. Very good. That's a great goal, Edson, because it's very clear. But there's a couple of things that we want when we're setting our goals for English, and they are called SMART goals. So they have to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, if you're like, what is she talking about? Don't worry, I will explain all of this. So I want to talk about specific. Specific. I'm going to type that into the chat. Specific. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Specific. There we go. Specific. What does this mean? It means that you need to be very clear about what you want. Speak fluently. That's not clear, because how will you know? It's not like one day you speak fluently. It's a transition. So a different example would be learn 100 words. Okay, so learning 100 words, that's specific, right? Because you'll know I know 100 words, because you'll be able to write them, you'll be able to read them, you'll be able to speak them. You'll know that these 100 words, it's specific, right? The next one is measurable, and I'm going to pop that into the chat. Okay, Rodrigo says, for example, I want that when I go outside of Spain, people understand me. Yeah, exactly. But again, we wanna be really, really, really specific. So who do you want to understand you? And because there's so many different situations. So at a cafe, are you going to be doing like speaking engagements? Like who do you want to understand you? Right, specific. And now we're moving on to measurable. And measurable means like a measurement. And if you're not sure what that means, there can be numbers, or they can be, basically numbers usually, right? So in this example, you have something that's measurable because you can measure it. Like measuring it with a ruler, right? I want this plant to be 10 centimeters. Well, I want to learn 100 words. It's measurable. Okay. The next word is attainable. The next word is attainable. So what does attainable mean? It means if you're right here, all the way down here, and you can say, hello, my name is Simone. How are you? Do you think that by here, you're going to be here by tomorrow? Hi, my name is Simone. It's nice to meet you. I'm from the United States. I'm a teacher. I like to blah, 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 right? So if you're here, you want to go here. If you're here, going here is not attainable. If you're here, maybe you can go here. And if you're here, maybe you can go here, right? And if you're here, maybe you can go all the way up here. So attainable, something, hi Poonam, welcome. Attainable is important. So we have to be like honest, truthful about what we can achieve in a certain time, right? The R, this one is very important too, relevant. So often I have students that say, I want to speak English fluently to travel, right? To travel. Let's see, you can see that. I want to speak English fluently to travel. However, this person doesn't have a job. And so what they really want is to do an interview, because you can't travel if you can't pay for travel, right? So there are many things that we want to do with English. We want to travel, we want to meet people, but maybe there's something that's more relevant to your life right now. So in the comments section, I want you guys to give me any of your questions. So if you don't understand something, please put that in the comments. I will answer your questions right now. If you have an example of a goal that you want, put that in the comments. We'll work through it together. So please comment and I will answer you. And then the T is something called time bound. So does anybody have any idea what time bound means? They want to put that in the chat. Time bound, what would that mean? I'll give you guys a few seconds. Time bound. What do we think time bound means? No idea. Okay, that's okay. Time bound. Time bound basically means that you're giving an end date. Okay, so today is November 24th. Excuse me, because I write the dates backwards because I'm American. But you would say, okay, by November 30th. It's just a date. It's just a day to say, okay, I want to do all of this by this day. A period of learning, exactly, Edson. That's exactly right. A period of learning. So why do we do this? Because at the end of that period, we can know, all right, did I learn to speak fluently to travel? Right? Okay. So I would really love for you guys in the comments section to try to put a goal, a limited period. Good, Poonam, yes, a limited period. So I'd like you guys to think of a goal and remember the 5 things, right? We have for the goals that we take. Yeah, exactly. So what I want you guys to do is to think of a goal, and we can work through this together. So I'm going to give you guys an example of a SMART goal. Okay. So specific. I want, and remember to put your goals for the goals that we take. Yeah, Rodrigo, for the goals that we take. I want to, I want to learn 100 new vocabulary words by, this is where the T comes in, by next week, for example, right? I want to learn 100 new vocabulary words by next week. So is it specific? Yeah. You want to learn vocabulary. Is it measurable? Yes, it's measurable. You want to learn 100 words. Is it attainable? Yeah, you can learn 100 words in 1 week. Is it relevant? Well, that depends on the person, right? That depends on the person, if it's relevant to their life or not. Let's imagine that for most people, vocabulary is relevant, right? And then is it time bound? Yeah, we have next week. So we know that by next week we want to learn 100 new vocabulary words. So yeah, I would really love for you guys in the chat section to just tell me what your goals are, and it's okay if they're not smart goals yet, but just put in the comments section, like, why do you want to learn English? Is it for work? Is it for travel? And then together we can create the SMART goals. So I'm going to type those out again. SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Great. Okay, so Rodrigo says travel, and travel is a great one. Travel is really cool because if you have, well, right now it's a little bit difficult because of COVID. Oh, perfect. Poonam says, I want to speak English fluently within 2 months. Okay, perfect. Now, the only thing that I would change, Poonam, this is a great goal and it's a really good one. But the only thing that I would change is the speak fluently part, right? Because how will you know that you speak fluently? Will you be able to will you be able to see it? Will you be able to speak it? How will you know? So what I want you to do instead of say speak fluently is, I want to have a conversation with someone in English where I make no mistakes, for example. And that's measurable because it can be 0 mistakes, and that's a number, 0, right? So speak fluently is a great goal, but what we want is something that is measurable, something that you can say, check, yes, I learned it, I know it, I can check it off of my list. So another way to say speak fluently might be, learn 100 new phrases, or have a conversation for 5 minutes without any mistakes, right? Those are specific and measurable goals. Okay, Edson says, I want to learn English for studying postgraduate. Okay, cool. So, Poonam, you were really close. You had Attainable, you had Timebound, and you had Relevant, right? And Edson, you have I want to learn English for studying postgraduate. Great. You have Relevant. That's really good. You know exactly why. So, Edson, let's talk about specific. I want to learn English for studying postgraduate. What are you studying postgraduate? I think you said engineering. Is that correct? I'm a water engineer. I plan to study postgraduate in English speaking countries, I'm guessing. So what we want to do is we want to get really specific about your goal, Edson. I want to learn English for studying postgraduate. So you would focus on how to communicate with your teachers. So, like, for example, 10 or 20 phrases I can use with my teachers to ask questions about the class or the subject matter, right? 20 phrases I can use with my teachers to ask questions about the class or the subject matter. Or, maybe 20 phrases I can use with my classmates to make friends. I don't know, or 100 new engineering vocabulary words. Does that make sense, Edson? Let me know if that makes sense to you, right? And then, of course, we need time bound. So I know you mentioned the IELTS exam. And so when that's very, very specific. Usually when we're talking about exams, it's very specific because you need to study reading, you need to study writing, you need to study speaking, you need to study vocabulary, you need to study listening, and you need to study all of this by January 1st because that's when you have your exam. So generally, good, Rodrigo. Technical vocabulary for my job. Yeah, exactly. So technical vocabulary for my job. And so you might put a number like what are 50 new phrases that I can use at my job. So tell us what your job is so we can help you with that. So Edson, when will you be studying postgraduate and what will you be studying postgraduate? And Poonam, let's see, Poonam, can you tell us um, why you want to speak English fluently in the chat there? So that's me. That's me as a teacher because many teachers will just teach you English. But what I want for you guys is uh like evidence. Do we know this word? Evidence. Evidence means something that you can see, something that you can know or hear, or, something real for you, right? So, yes, I can teach you English. Yes, I can teach you vocabulary. But how will you know when you've reached your goal? And that's the most important thing because it motivates you. Let me put that word into the chat. Motivates you. If you guys are, keeping up with the chat and you're unsure, you don't know one of the words, just take the words and put it into Google Translate into your language. Okay, perfect. Rodrigo has said he's a social worker and he wants to know 100 words in 1 month. Perfect. That goal is specific, 100 a specific social worker words. That goal is measurable, 100 words. That goal is attainable. In 1 month, you can learn 100 words, easy, no problem. It's relevant because it's his job. He's a social worker, so it's relevant to his life. And time bound, 1 month. That is a perfect goal. Good job, Rodrigo. Now let's see. Edson, I want to apply on July next year and plan to take the IELTS exam in April of next year. Awesome. So we're getting closer, right? The IELTS exam is, like I said, they're so clear about what you need to do. So when you look at your goal, Edson, you just have to say, okay, I need to get a certain score, a certain point value for the speaking, for the reading, for the writing in the IELTS exam. And then obviously you have it very clear. April of next year is when you're taking the exam. So that's time bound. That's wonderful, you guys. I think we're getting the idea. But let me give you another example. Let's say you are. Oh, I had a student recently who was an English teacher, right? And she's an English teacher for little kids, but she really wanted to um, like learn to speak like a native so that she could help her children. So let's think of an example for her. Let's say something specific. Say she wants to learn 100 native speaker phrases. Okay, that's specific. It's measurable because we know it's 100 phrases. I'm putting this in the chat in case you guys are wondering. It's attainable. Yeah, I mean, she's a teacher already. She knows a lot of English. So, yeah, she can do this. She can do it. Attainable is, can I do it or can I not do it? Right? So, am I capable, right? If I'm here, can I go all the way here? Right? If I'm here, can I go here? Yes, definitely. If I'm here, can I go here? Yes, definitely. Okay, attainable. What's the next one? Relevant. Heck yeah, that's relevant, right? It's for her work. It's for her students, for her kids, right? So it's relevant to her life. Like I said, relevant. Sometimes people come to me and they say, Teacher Simone, I want to travel the world. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. And I want to speak English traveling the world. I'm like, heck yeah, that's awesome. But I don't have a job yet and I can't travel because of COVID. And so then I say, okay, what do we really need to focus on? And in this case, we focus on what you need right now. Right? That's relevancy. If your life needs something right now, that is the goal that we set for English speaking. And then the last one, time bound. She says, okay, I want to learn these phrases in 2 months. Okay. So now she can literally take her calendar, right? And she can mark on her calendar, on this day, I am going to have learned 100 native speaker phrases for my job. All right, you guys. So put in the comments section, does this make sense? Do you understand? What questions do you have? I'll do a quick recap, right? We're talking today about goals. We're talking about SMART goals and how to set them in English, because this will absolutely change the way you learn English. It will absolutely change your destiny with English. You want to learn English. That's why you're here, right? So, my job as your teacher, as your guide, is to show you exactly what you're learning, exactly when you're learning it. Okay, Poonam says, because I'm interested to learn, I like the way I teach. You teach. He likes she. Thank you. That's very kind. I aim to score speaking 8, listening 8.5, writing 7.5 up to April 2021. Perfect. You did it, Edson. There's your goal, right? Now you know everything else. So if you're doing something else in English, you're not working towards your goal. So you have your goal. That's very, 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 very good. That's a SMART goal, Edson. And thank you, Poonam. That's a very nice thing to say. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions before we wrap up today's little English lesson? Just put those into the chat box. I'm here tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, right? Today is Tuesday. I will be here tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I take the weekends off because I'm a human too, so I have to relax. But I will be here at the same time every day, Monday through Friday. Okay. So if this was helpful for you, then you need to go and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because the bell will tell you, it will tell you when I'm about to go live. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and come back and learn more English with us, because we have a lot. The goal here that I've put for you guys is to move from intermediate to advanced in the next 6 weeks. Okay. So I'll be here for 5 weeks. Uh, English lessons every day, Monday through Friday. So make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you have the bell. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Do you guys have any more questions before we end today's little mini lesson? Thanks to, you're welcome, Rodrigo. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.